In this video, I just want to kind of go over the so-called slander campaigns that a lot of targeted people complain about, or it. How can I really just break this one down? Because a lot of people may get it, but at the same time, it's like, you got women popping out fucking 12, 20, 30 kids, and it's like, you got all of these people and this big ass cesspool. Yeah, the world, the prison planet. But yet, with all these people out and about, being born every day, millions being born every day, different baby daddies, different baby mamas, inbreeding. Yeah, inbreeding makes you dumb. Okay? Don't inbreed. But I'm just saying, there are people born on this planet every day. But yet, this one individual, there are millions probably, even more. Not probably, definitely, but probably, even more than that. But a lot of targeted people complain of slander campaigns. Well, they said I was a terrorist. They said that I was a drug dealer, ex-con. I raped somebody or whatever. But this is what I don't really comprehend. Okay, now, given the fact that I'm African American, however you want to call it, a real nigga. Yeah, I'm being kind of funny. It's not funny though, but a real nigga or whatever. Given the fact that most of the people I'm around typically are usually going to be African American just by default, I can my judgment may be a little bit better when it comes to this particular topic, and I'll tell you why. I hear about stories locally, not far from my area. I hear about stories where, a colored fellow shot at somebody, they tried to rob somebody at gunpoint. In general, some of these criminals will go to jail for 2 years and then get out. And when you give it thought, let's say a person tries to rob a convenience store or something like that, and then, they go to jail for 3 or 4 years, then they get out on bail. It could be earlier on bail, probation or whatever, who knows. But let's say this person gets out of jail or prison, and then they carry on with their lives without being targeted. Now, let's say that this convenience store owner knew people with the sheriff's department and people around, and they had a whole lot of community support. Wouldn't you assume that that person or that individual who tried to rob that store would be mobbed or harassed afterwards? Yeah, you probably would. But typically, these types of cases never lead to quote-unquote gang stalking, okay? It never leads to organized harassment. So you really have to kind of open your eyes up when because this situation can really throw you into this type of limbo where you think it's all eyes on you at all times. And even if it is, you have to really question why. Okay, if that person robbed the store and he's not being gang stalked, if that other person shot somebody or maimed somebody and paralyzed them for life, then they got out of prison, and let's say that the person they shot was somebody with status, wouldn't you expect these people, or all of these people, to end up being targeted after they committed these heinous acts? And to be honest, they would probably deserve it, okay? But all in all, these types of individuals are probably not going to deal with organized harassment as a result of their actions. You will have, it's crazy it may sound, you may have sex offenders in your area who are, treated pretty decent. I mean, they're not going to deal with harassment. Somebody may call them out every now and then or whatever, and it's not going to be a secret, okay? People are going to come to their face and tell them what the deal is. No one is going to keep this secret for them. Keep this secret from them their entire lives, and they never figure out what's going on. But with a targeted individual, usually from a young age, you've always had this problem with random people that you never even knew. And then when you question these people and ask them what's going on, they'll never really tell you anything. They'll just, you know, come up with something else. They'll just write it off. They may argue with you if you just, you know, they're like, get out of my face, man. What's wrong with you, man? Leave me alone. So, whatever they are doing is hidden in plain sight. And they want it to be hidden for a good reason. Now, we can talk about, well, the government's hiring these people and, you know, but this is the thing. I mean, you got all of these protesters, so-called protesters, throwing bricks at people who work in law enforcement. They are, you know, they are fighting with federal agents, you know, during these protests. And all of these other things, but yet they are too scared to come out and admit that someone is orchestrating a harassment campaign against you. I mean, that wouldn't even be a big deal in my honest opinion. I could understand if that was a murder or something that happened and then they kept their mouth shut. People are not really scared of the law, or they are not afraid to come out and tell you the goods unless it is revolved around organized harassment. Organized harassment is really the only thing that is so quote-unquote secretive or confidential. And when I talk about confidential, I'm talking about, you know, high-level government agents only. I'm not talking about people out on the street. I'm talking about, you know, you got everyday Joes, just normal everyday citizens. And there is no way something can be confidential if you are employing normal Joes out on the street. Crackheads, drug dealers, it's just not really sensible, really, at all. Because any of these people could just come out and tell you what's going on. And honestly, they could do it behind closed doors without anyone ever knowing. I mean, if you don't believe in neural monitoring and that they, you know, they cannot see what you see or whatever, then why couldn't these people just tell you the goods and then just, you know, cut that phone off and you know, cut off all that technology and just tell you everything that's going on? It's not this serious. I mean, many of these people are ex-cons and drug dealers, people who've, you know, shot somebody, manslaughter, robberies and stuff like that. If these individuals are a lot of times bad people, I wouldn't see the harm in just telling you the real deal. Oh, well, they're going to get more jail time if they tell me what's going on. Well, okay, I understand that, but what I don't get is that these same people will go out and then commit a crime and still go back to jail. So I cannot really comprehend it, because when I look at society as a whole, everyone is really lawless. No one cares about the law, and they don't really care about the punishment. People truly don't care about jail time or prison time. They really don't. So what would be the point in them just dragging you on and not telling you what's going on? I mean, what's the point? Well, they are paying this person. Okay, so if they are paying people to basically harass you or whatever, then okay, it would seem like whatever's going on is probably just human trafficking. Because the way I look at it, with all of these women popping out kids and whatever, I just don't see the importance of a random nobody. And yes, most targeted people are nobodies. They are not important. They are not ex-cons. They are typically not even people who are socially active. So you have these random, isolated people who are clearly not tied to any groups or whatever, not a terrorist group or nothing like that. And they clearly know that. They know that you are a nobody. They know that you are a loner. But yet at the same time, you got all these criminals around you. You got pedophiles, you got ex-cons, you got, you know, all of these bad people, and they've truly, they've done other people wrong, okay? They've done bad things. I ain't talking about stepping on somebody's foot or, you know, a quick comment or a lawsuit. I'm talking about they've shot somebody, robbed somebody, raped. But yet, they are likely not being targeted at all. When targeted people tell me about slander, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, slander may be it, but at the same time, you have all of these other criminals just out and about everywhere, and they are living our lives. I mean, look, how many pedophiles have put in for a job, right? And then they get that job. It could be a job working with the youth, right? They get their job, and then the workplace wouldn't find out until like months later. Okay, shouldn't these people be watched? No. No one cares. So give that thought. What makes you such an important case? Even if the government is involved, what makes you so important as opposed to anyone else? I'm out with another one. Peace.